Hello, and thank you for joining me as I take a journey looking at the trains and stations of Shakespeare country. My journey looking at some of the trains and stations across Shakespeare country begins here in Stratford Upon Avon, which is the southern terminus of the Shakespeare Line. The town of Stratford Upon Avon is famous throughout the world as William Shakespeare's birthplace. The railways first arrived in 1859, and after the Second World War there were direct express services between Stratford upon Avon to Birmingham and Wolverhampton, and south to Cardiff, Swansea, Bristol, and into the West Country to Exeter, Plymouth and Penzance. In fact, the most famous of the express services was the Wolverhampton to Penzance service, named the Cornishman. Let's begin by taking a look at a couple of West Midland Railway Class 172 Turbostar DMUs. This will be followed by the departure of the West Coast Railway Special Excursion from Stratford upon Avon to Liverpool Lime Street. And last but not least, we'll see the Shakespeare Express, which is a steam-hauled passenger excursion service that runs between Birmingham Snow Hill and Stratford upon Avon in the summer on Sundays. through services to the south of Stratford upon Avon ceased in 1969, and the line did remain open for a while to freight traffic until a derailment prompted British Rail to close the line entirely in 1976. This is all that remains of the track at the southern end of the station, and in fact the line itself ends just beyond the tree line. The next principal station down the line from here would have been at Honeybourne, but the station here closed in 1969, although local demand resulted in the station reopening in 1981 with a single platform for Cotswold Line services. In 2011, the redoubling project covering part of the Cotswold Line resulted in a second platform being opened. I decided to head off to Honeybourne and take a look.
Service to Great Malvern.
Stay tuned for more stations from Shakespeare country, including a visit to Stratford Upon Avon Parkway, which first opened to passengers in May 2013. I'll also be visiting some of the lesser known stations of Shakespeare country, including Claverden, Beerley, Dansey, Woodend, and the Lakes. Honeybourne has had something of a checkered history. It's had a station since 1853, and a branch line linked to Stratford upon Avon opened in 1860. This through line created an east loop for Stratford upon Avon services and a south loop that avoided the station, giving trains from Stratford eastbound access to the Cotswold Line. This unfortunately came to an end with the suspension of services from Chiltern Spa in 1960 and Stratford upon Avon in 1966. The track that you see here remains as a link to the large ex-MOD depot at Long Marsden. Shakespeare Line Promotion Group is promoting a scheme to reinstate the 9 miles missing link between Honeybourne and Stratford. It's called the Avon Rail Link, and the scheme would make Stratford Upon Avon railway station a through station once again, with improved connections to the Cotswolds and the south. Well, they're going to have a really superb view of Honeybourne Station from up there, but I'm heading back to Stratford Upon Avon, but this time to Stratford Upon Avon Parkway Station, which opened in 2013. The station is adjacent to a very large park and ride facility and serves the area of Bishopton and the northern residential areas of Stratford. The main aim of the new station was to alleviate some of the traffic congestion which is prevalent around Stratford Upon Avon during the main tourist season. Construction took just over 7 months, and the station itself opened 6 months ahead of schedule at a cost of just under £9 million. The adjacent park and ride facility has over 700 spaces for motor vehicles. West Midlands Railways run regular services from this station to Birmingham, Kidderminster and Worcester, while Chiltern Railways run a connection to Leamington Spa with its onward services to London Marylebone. I'm going to end this video by calling it some of the smaller, less well-known stations of Shakespeare country, and I'm going to start with Claverden. The station is served by Chiltern Railways on the line between Stratford and Leamington, and also by West Midlands trains, although these trains only stop at the station on request. I was also greeted upon arrival at Claverden by some pretty inclement weather. The station was opened by the Stratford on Avon Railway as a single track branch in 1860, but was doubled between Beerley and Hatton in 1938, and a new two-platform station was built. But when the second track was lifted in 1969, Claverton reverted to being a single platform station. You can still see the original down platform to the left of the picture. Next stop on this journey is the very remote station of Danzy. This very remote station opened in 1908, and it was known as Danzy for Tamworth. The station serves the hamlet of Danzy Green, as well as the nearby village of Tamworth in Arden. This would have been the site of the former goods yard at the northern end of the station. Just beyond this lovely stone footbridge, there are 4 farm cottages which are hidden by trees. I have to say that for the couple of hours that I was at this station, you get the feeling that you're hidden well away from civilization, although in reality this is really an illusion, as the M42 motorway, which is one of the busiest motorways in the West Midlands, is only 1.5 miles away. My next station is just a few minutes along the track from here, at Wood End. Wood End Station is approximately 1 mile to the north of Tamworth in Arden, and it serves a select residential area with many of the properties set in wooded grounds. The station is located in a deep cutting, and in 2014 the footbridge over the line was removed and these new aluminium stairs were installed which lead to both platforms from the main road. In order to access either of the platforms, there is a lengthy walk of several hundred yards from the main road above down a footpath. Not only that, but when you reach the end of the footpath, you're then presented with this enormous amount of steps. There are 64 steps on either side, which takes you down to the platforms themselves. This was a relatively late arrival in railway terms because the Lake Station didn't open until 1935. It was originally built as a fisherman's halt, and in fact the platforms are really small, only 130 feet long. You immediately get a sense as to how small this station is by walking down the footpath from the main road above, and as you turn onto the platform, it is really small. It can only accommodate the leading coach of a train, and there are Harrington humps on both platforms to assist passengers with disembarking and embarking on trains. My final station visit in Shakespeare country is this delightful halt at Beerley. The station dates from 1860, and as was the case at Claverden, it was originally a single track station, but the line was doubled in 1939 and a second platform was built. You can still see the remnants of it here, but it reverted to its current status as a single track in 1969. The station attracts just over 1,000 passengers every year, making it one of the least used stations of Warwickshire. Well, for well over 100 years, Stratford upon Avon was a pivotal railway town. Not only was there a link to the north into Birmingham, which still exists today, but there was also a vital link to the south through Honeybourne and onto the Cotswold Line, with its services to the east, to Oxford and into London, and to the west through to Worcester, down to Hereford, into South Wales and across to Bristol and down into the West Country. Let's hope that it would be possible to reinstate the 9 miles of track between Stratford-on-Avon and Honeybourne in the future, which in turn would create a more seamless link for rail travel into and out of Shakespeare country.